This is a short response to Richard Wolff, who gives a terrible response to a viewer when asking how they would obtain a PlayStation 5 under socialism. I'll let the man speak for himself, but first of all, let's try to imagine what a people's PS5 would look like under socialism. It would probably be a home media PC running a Linux distribution, loaded with emulators that would allow you to play pirated games from any system of the capitalist countries. That is, of course, until the day when holy men with hammers come and smash all systems. Even GameCube, of course. Until that day comes, though, gaming in socialist countries would basically be on a pirate box because, fuck intellectual property rights. It would kind of work like a cracked Android TV if you're familiar with those, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure those have their origins in China. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's see what Richard Wolff had to say.
Final question to you, Professor Wolff. Under your system of worker cooperatives, would I still get my PlayStation 5?
Absolutely. You'd have to struggle a little bit for it. You'd have to talk to your fellow workers. You'd have to talk about the distribution of income. You'd have to compare your desire for PlayStation against all the other interests of all the other people. It wouldn't be something you worked out on your own with your particular boss in any way. It would have to be a democratic decision. You'd have to come to terms with that the way you do with democratic decisions now in our society to the extent that we have them.
Wolff's view is extremely reactionary here. He essentially wants to subordinate production towards a kind of viking Longhouse. I think that macroeconomic and strategic planning should be done by a Congress of Workers' Deputies to ensure that collective force predominates over the economy in place of market forces, or on the other end of the spectrum, a purely technocratic assembly. But this is entirely different from Richard Wolff's democratic Longhouse, where all production is subordinated towards democratic will. Microeconomic planning at the current date could just be done by artificial intelligence, using the accumulated data from supply chains to determine prices and production quotas without the need for democratic input. Richard Wolff's idea would mean a bloated managerial bureaucracy that would parasitically live on surplus value, just like how the stockholders and professional managerial class lives today. This is contrary to the aims of socialism because, as George Sorel said, socialism is meaningless unless it aims to inherit and perfect the system of production developed by industrial capitalism without the tutelage of the market. Richard Wolff's system of production subordinated towards a democratic Longhouse is reactionary because it puts a fetter on the efficient development of the forces of production, no different than the tutelage of commercial and financial capitalism that is placed on production today. I wrote about an efficient system of socialist planning for Zoran Sultanius' blog Fascio, an attempt at reaching across the aisle if any of you are interested. The link will be in the description.